They topped the charts once, then they vanished without a trace. In the 1960s, women in R&B made history with just one song, one voice, one moment, one hit that never came again. You think you know these classics, but most fans can't name the woman behind the voice. Some walked away by choice. Some were pushed out. Some simply ran out of time. Today, we count down 10 women who gave R&B one perfect son and paid a price for it. This is the true story of rise, fall, and being forgotten. Number 10. Kathy Young, 1,000 Stars. Close your eyes and picture a small recording studio in 1960. The walls are thin. The equipment is basic by today's standards. A young girl steps up to a single microphone. Her voice is soft. Her hands are shaking a little. This is her big moment, and she does not even fully understand yet how big it is about to become. Kathy Young was only 15 years old when she recorded 1,000 Stars. 15. Think about that for a second. While other girls her age were worrying about homework and curfews, she was stepping into a booth to make a record that would end up on the radio across the whole country. The song came out on a small label called Indigo Records. Run by a modest team without the deep pockets of the major companies. The song itself is simple on purpose. It's about a girl looking up at the night sky, thinking about the boy she loves, and wishing on every single star she can see. No tricks, no fancy production, just a young voice carrying a big feeling. It climbed all the way to number 3 on the pop charts. It also crossed over into R&B airplay, which was rare for such a young, mostly unknown singer at the time. Radio stations that rarely played teenage singers made room for her voice because listeners simply connected with the honesty in it. Here's something most fans never hear. Kathy recorded this song with a doo-wop group called The Innocents, backing her up in the studio. She was still attending high school classes during the day and doing recording sessions in the evenings and weekends. Her entire rise to fame happened before she was even old enough to vote or sign her own contracts without a parent involved. Her mother had to be present for many of her early business decisions. So why did she fade so quickly after such a big start? The music business moved fast in the early 1960s. New sounds and new young singers came in every single year, sometimes every few months. Kathy Young never got a strong second single to follow up her big hit. Her small label simply did not have the promotional muscle or financial backing to push a proper follow-up campaign the way a major label could. She became a symbol of one perfect moment, not the start of a long career. There is something almost innocent and heartbreaking about her story. A teenage girl captured lightning in a bottle once, and then watched the industry move on to the next young face before she even had a real chance to grow into an adult artist. Her voice still touches listeners today, decades later. A young girl singing about love under 1,000 stars, frozen in time forever. Stick with us, because our next artist had a voice so smooth, it slipped right past the American charts and straight into soul music history overseas. Number 9. Barbara Randolph, I Got a Feeling. Now picture Detroit in the late 1960s. The Motown machine is running at full speed, day and night. Writers are cranking out hit songs every single week. Producers are stacking session after session. In the middle of all that noise and ambition, one woman recorded a song that almost never even saw the light of day. Barbara Randolph signed with Motown in 1967, joining a roster already packed with some of the biggest names in music history. I Got a Feeling was written and produced inside the Motown system, built with the same punchy horns, driving beat, and layered backing vocals you hear on so many classic hits from that label. The song is about a woman who feels deep in her gut that something is about to go wrong in her relationship. It's about trusting your instincts, even when you cannot prove anything is wrong yet. Motown released it in 1968, but the label was busy pushing bigger, already established stars that year. Her song simply did not get the promotional push it needed inside the United States. Here's the twist most casual fans do not know at all. This song became genuinely huge overseas, especially in England. It became a beloved favorite in something called the Northern Soul scene. That's an entire underground culture of fans in the United Kingdom who collect rare, obscure American soul records and dance to them all night long in clubs across northern England. These fans took songs that failed in America and turned them into legendary dance floor anthems. Barbara Randolph, almost by accident, became a bigger star in England than she ever became at home. Here's another detail worth knowing. Motown actually shelved several of her recordings for years, releasing some of them only after her initial run with the label had already ended. Fans and collectors later discovered these lost recordings and treated them like buried treasure. Further building her legend among serious soul music historians. Why did she fade in America specifically? Motown simply had too many major stars competing for the same limited amount of promotional attention and money. Diana Ross and the Supremes, Marvin Gaye, The Temptations. A song like hers, even a genuinely great one, got buried in an overcrowded release schedule. It became a victim of timing and internal competition, not a lack of talent. That is one of the harshest lessons in the music business. Sometimes the song is absolutely perfect, and the singer is talented, but the moment and the company behind them are simply not lined up correctly. Coming up next, a song that still shakes club floors today, even though almost nobody remembers the name of the woman who sang it first. If you're enjoying this deep dive so far, go ahead and smash that like button. It genuinely helps more people find these hidden stories.
If this song just hit you in that quiet place, don't let this moment be a one-time thing. Subscribe to Demo. We're building a home for real, R&B, and soul. The kind that heals, the kind that tells the truth. Hit subscribe and come back whenever you need a song that understands you.
Every story you see here takes hours of digging, piecing together history, and bringing forgotten moments back to life. If you'd like to support that work, you can become a channel member. It's just the cost of a cup of coffee, but it helps us keep these stories alive, and for that, we're grateful. Number 8. Chris Clark, Love's Gone Bad. Some voices just hit different the moment you hear them. Chris Clark had exactly that kind of voice. Deep, powerful, full of real pain that you could feel in your own chest just by listening. Love's Gone Bad came out on Motown's VIP label in 1966. It was written by the legendary songwriting team of Holland, Dozier, and Holland, the very same writers behind so many of Motown's biggest and most beloved classics. The lyrics describe a love that turned cold, distant, and cruel over time. It was a moderate hit in America, reaching a respectable chart position, but it never became a defining, era-shaping hit the way it probably deserved to become. Here is the part that genuinely surprises people when they first hear it. In the United Kingdom, this song became a true Northern soul anthem, played and treasured by serious soul music collectors for decades afterward. Some soul historians and collectors say the song sounds bigger, richer, and more emotionally powerful than half the songs that actually topped the American charts that same year. Chris Clark ended up touring overseas long after her American chart run had already faded, because European fans simply refused to let this song disappear from memory. Why did it fade back home in the United States? Motown was famous, even among its own artists, for having more raw talent signed to the label than it could possibly promote all at once. Chris Clark, being one of the very few white artists on a mostly black roster at Motown, also occupied a complicated and unusual place inside the label's overall marketing strategy at the time. The song simply got lost in the shuffle of an incredibly crowded, competitive roster of artists, all fighting for airtime. Here's a detail worth sitting with. Chris Clark later moved away from pure singing and became involved in film and songwriting work behind the scenes. Including contributing to Motown-related film projects. Her creative life did not end with this song. It simply changed direction. It proves something important about the music industry as a whole. Sometimes the song itself does not fail at all. Sometimes the entire system surrounding that song fails the artist instead. Next up, a heartbreak ballad that became a genuine cult classic among soul collectors, even though her name almost never gets mentioned in the same breath as the other soul greats of her era. Number 7. Baby Washington. That's How Heartaches Are Made. Some songs sound like a diary entry set to music. This is exactly one of those songs. Baby Washington recorded That's How Heartaches Are Made in 1963 for Sue Records, a smaller but respected label known for gritty, emotionally honest soul music. The The song is about one woman warning another woman not to fall for a certain man, because he will only end up breaking her heart the same way he has broken others before. It's simple, direct advice, wrapped inside a beautiful, aching melody that lingers long after the song ends. The song reached the top 10 on the R&B charts and even crossed over into the pop top 40 nationally. For a brief moment, Baby Washington was a genuine contender for lasting stardom. Here's a detail that often gets lost in music history books.
I was such a fool to love you. They said that you're the...
Other well-known singers later covered this exact song, including Dee Dee Warwick, sister of the legendary Dionne Warwick. That single fact alone tells you how much respect this song earned inside the music industry itself, even if the wider public eventually forgot who had recorded it first.
kind who'd never be true. Pretty soon the day would come.
So why did Baby Washington fade from the mainstream spotlight? Sue Records was a smaller operation without the deep financial resources of the bigger national record companies. As the mid-1960s rolled forward, the overall sound of soul music kept shifting and evolving quickly.
When I'd be sorry one, I said I'm not.
Baby Washington had a beautiful, classic, understated voice, but the industry as a whole was increasingly chasing louder, faster, more up-tempo dance records. Her gentle, ballad-heavy style slowly got pushed toward the background of a rapidly changing radio landscape.
Not afraid, well, that's how.
Here's a small but meaningful fact. Baby Washington actually kept recording and performing steadily for years afterward, building a loyal, dedicated following among serious soul fans.
Heartaches are made.
Even without ever matching this song's chart success again. It is a powerful reminder that talent alone does not guarantee you stay on top forever. Timing, label resources, and shifting musical trends matter just as much as raw vocal ability. Coming up next, a song built on heartbreak and hope, from a teenager who fought the industry itself just to get one more chance to be heard. Number 6. Jackie Ross, Selfish One. Imagine being 19 years old and recording a song that becomes a genuine top 10 hit almost overnight. Now imagine watching that entire opportunity slip away because of a business fight that had absolutely nothing to do with your talent. Jackie Ross recorded Selfish One for Chess Records in 1964. It's a song about a woman finally calling out a man for only ever thinking about himself inside their relationship. It hit the top 10 on the R&B charts and even cracked the pop top 30 nationally. Chess Records was already legendary for blues and soul greatness by this point, so landing a genuine hit there was an enormous deal for a young, relatively unknown singer. Here's the part of her story that really stings when you hear it in full. Jackie Ross ended up in a serious legal dispute with her label over the terms of her recording contract. While that dispute dragged on for months, she could not release new music at the pace she desperately needed to. In this business, momentum disappears incredibly fast if you cannot follow up a hit song right away with something new. By the time the legal issues were finally settled, the moment had already passed her by. Radio programmers had moved on to newer sounds and newer faces in the meantime. Jackie Ross clearly had the voice, the songwriting sensibility, and the star quality to build a long, successful career. But a business dispute over contract terms took that opportunity away from her at the worst possible time. Here's an important detail people often miss. Jackie Ross continued recording for other labels afterward, and she is remembered fondly by soul collectors for her later work as well, even though none of it ever matched the commercial size of this first hit. It's one of the saddest recurring patterns in music history. Sometimes the biggest threat to a promising artist's career is not a rival singer or a changing trend. Sometimes it is simply a contract. Next, we are halfway through this countdown, and coming up is a promise wrapped inside a love song that women have been singing along to for 6 decades now. We're halfway through this list. Which song has hit you hardest so far? Drop it in the comments below. Number 5. Barbara Mason. Yes, I'm ready. There is something genuinely powerful about a song that sounds like an honest promise. This next one is exactly that kind of song. Barbara Mason wrote "Yes, I'm Ready" entirely by herself. She was only 17 years old at the time. It came out in 1965 on Arctic Records, a small independent Philadelphia label without much national reach. The song is about a young woman finally telling a man that she is ready to fall completely in love with him. After being cautious and guarded for a long time. It reached number 5 on the pop charts and number 2 on the R&B charts. For a teenager writing and delivering her own material, that level of success is a genuinely remarkable achievement. Here's a fact that shows just how special and unusual this song truly was for its time. Barbara Mason wrote and recorded it almost like a real diary confession, drawing directly from her own personal feelings and experiences at that exact moment in her young life. Because she wrote her own songs, she stood apart from many singers of that era, most of whom simply performed material handed to them by professional songwriting teams working behind the scenes. So why do so many casual fans not recognize her name today, even though the song itself is still widely loved? Arctic Records was a tiny, local operation without anywhere close to the marketing power of the larger Philadelphia soul labels that emerged just a few years later and dominated the sound of that whole city. Barbara Mason actually kept working and recording steadily for many years afterward, releasing new material well into the 1970s. But nothing she released later ever matched the sheer size and impact of this first breakthrough hit. Over time, the song itself got remembered and celebrated far more than the woman who had written and sung it in the first place. That is the quiet tragedy of being an early bloomer in this industry. You peak commercially before the industry even fully knows how to build you into a lasting, long-term star. Coming up next, a song about heartbreak so genuine and raw that other legendary singers still perform it today as a form of tribute. Number 4. Doris Troy, Just One Look.
Just one look, and I felt so hard.
This next story is about a woman who wrote her own destiny. even when the industry around her tried to write it for her instead. Doris Troy co-wrote Just One Look and recorded it for Atlantic Records in 1963. The song is about falling in love the very instant you first see someone. That immediate, undeniable spark of connection. It's simple, joyful, and full of genuine excitement. It reached the top 10 on both the pop and R&B charts nationally. For a black woman songwriter working in that particular era, having this level of creative control and writing credit was genuinely rare and hard-won. Here's the detail that really shows the full scope of her impact on music. This exact song has been covered by so many other artists over the following decades that many younger fans today mistakenly assume it must have originally belonged to someone else entirely. Doris Troy proved, through her own career, that women in R&B were not simply hired singers performing someone else's words. They were writers and genuine creators actively shaping the overall sound of the entire decade. So why did she ultimately become a one-hit wonder here in America? Doris Troy actually moved to England later in the decade and became deeply connected with several major British rock artists. Working closely as a backing vocalist and eventually signing with a very famous British record label associated with those same artists. Her career took a completely different path after that move. Shifting away from chasing solo chart hits and toward collaborative session work instead. She never once stopped working steadily in music, but she never again had another solo hit quite like this one back on the American charts. Here's a detail worth remembering. Her powerful backing vocal work later appeared on some extremely famous rock recordings, meaning her voice reached millions of listeners who had no idea they were even hearing her at all. Her story proves something important that fans often overlook. Fading away from the pop charts does not automatically mean fading away from the culture itself. Her fingerprints remained all over popular music for years and years after this one song. Up next, a bouncy little love song that became one of the most sampled soul records of all time, and most fans today have absolutely no idea who made it first. Number 3. Betty Everett, the Shoop Shoop song. It's in His Kiss. Get ready, because this next song is probably already stuck in your head the very second we say the title out loud. Betty Everett recorded this song for VJ Records back in 1964. The lyrics ask a simple, playful, universal question. How can you really tell if someone truly loves you? The song's cheerful answer is that the truth is in the way he kisses you. It reached number 6 on the pop charts and number 2 on the R&B charts nationally. It quickly became one of the defining fun, flirty soul songs of the entire decade, and it has stayed culturally relevant ever since. Here's a story that genuinely surprises most people who hear it for the first time. Betty Everett reportedly did not even want to record this particular song at first. She apparently felt it was too simple and too playful compared to the more serious, emotionally heavy material she personally preferred to sing. She recorded it anyway, somewhat reluctantly, and it went on to become the single biggest hit of her entire career by a wide margin. So why don't more casual fans know her actual name today, even though almost everyone recognizes the song itself instantly? VJ Records, her label at the time, ran into serious, well-documented financial trouble during the mid-1960s and eventually collapsed completely as a company. Without a stable, financially secure label behind her, Betty Everett simply could not build on this song's massive success the way a bigger, better-funded artist could have. The song itself lived on for decades through movie soundtracks, television commercials, and countless cover versions. But her own name as the original artist slowly faded from widespread public memory. Here's a fact that adds a bittersweet layer to her story. Betty Everett continued recording and performing for many more years, earning genuine respect within the industry, even as the general public increasingly forgot her name while still humming her most famous melody. It's clear proof that a song itself can become truly immortal, while the very woman who gave that song its life quietly gets left behind in the shadows. Now we are getting close to the top of this countdown. Our next entry comes with a story you truly need to hear in full, because it involves one of the biggest cover song controversies in all of music history. We're now well into this countdown, and thank you for sticking with us this far. If music history like this keeps you hooked, you are exactly who we make these videos for. Number 2. Irma Franklin, Piece of My Heart.
Didn't I make you feel like you?
Earlier in this video, we promised you a real controversy. Here it is, in full. Irma Franklin was the older sister of the legendary Aretha Franklin. In 1967, she recorded Piece of My Heart for a label called Shout Records. The song is about a woman who keeps giving everything she has to a partner who repeatedly takes advantage of her love and loyalty. Irma's original version became a solid, respected R&B hit and introduced the world to what would eventually become one of the most powerful and emotionally raw songs of the entire decade. Then, just one single year later, a rock singer named Janis Joplin recorded her own version of the exact same song with her band. That version absolutely exploded across the entire world and became one of the single most famous rock performances in all of music history. Still celebrated and studied today. Here is where the story gets genuinely complicated. Some people say Irma Franklin felt her original version got almost completely erased from public memory once the rock version took over the world's attention. In interviews over the years, it's been said she carried mixed feelings about how little credit her own original recording received, even though her version came first chronologically. There are different versions of the story regarding exactly how much say Irma had over the song's business rights and promotional push at the time it was originally released. What we do know for certain is that Shout Records was a small, independent label without anywhere close to the reach, budget, or radio connections of a major record company. And it simply could not compete with the massive promotional push behind the later, more famous rock version. This combination of industry politics, label size, and unfortunate timing meant that Irma's original recording got pushed firmly into the background. Even though many soul fans and serious music historians consider her version just as powerful emotionally, if not even more raw and real, than the version that became world famous. Over time, her original recording has become a treasured favorite among deep soul collectors, almost like a hidden original, patiently waiting to be rediscovered by new generations of listeners. Here's a detail worth remembering. Irma Franklin also had a respected career as a backing vocalist and performer beyond this one song, working steadily within the music industry for years, largely out of the direct spotlight her younger sister occupied. Her story teaches us something genuinely important about music history as a whole. Being first does not always mean being remembered. Sometimes the loudest, most widely promoted version wins, even when the original recording held just as much truth and real emotional pain inside it. And now, we have finally reached our #1 entry. This is the song that almost everyone in the entire world can hum along to instantly. But almost nobody can actually name the woman who made it a massive hit first.
If this song just hit you in that quiet place, don't let this moment be a one-time thing. Subscribe to Demo. We're building a home for real R&B and soul. The kind that heals, the kind that tells the truth. Hit subscribe and come back whenever you need a song that understands you.
Every story you see here takes hours of digging, piecing together history, and bringing forgotten moments back to life. If you'd like to support that work, you can become a channel member. It's just the cost of a cup of coffee, but it helps us keep these stories alive, and for that, we're grateful. #1. Little Eva, The Locomotion.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on.
Here it is, the single biggest one-hit wonder story of them all. Little Eva was working as a babysitter for the songwriting duo Carole King and Jerry Goffin when they wrote The Locomotion specifically for her back in 1962.
I know you get to like it if you get.
She recorded it for Dimension Records almost as a casual favor, without much serious expectation attached to it at all. The song is about a fun new dance move sweeping through parties and social gatherings. Nobody involved truly predicted it would go all the way to #1 on the national pop charts.
Give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion.
Here is the detail that makes this entire story so genuinely special and unforgettable. Little Eva was literally the household babysitter inside the very home where this song was written.
My little baby sister can do everything. It's easy.
She went from watching children during the day to becoming a chart-topping international star within just a few short months. It remains one of the most surprising and heartwarming rags-to-riches stories in all of American music history. So why did she never manage to have another hit anywhere near this size again? The songwriting team behind her original success eventually moved on to write hit songs for numerous other artists across the industry. Her label, similarly, did not build a serious long-term career plan or strategy around her as an artist. Trends within dance songs also moved incredibly fast throughout the 1960s.
Come on, baby. Jump up.
With newer dance crazes constantly taking over the airwaves and pushing older ones aside within just a year or two. Within a relatively short period of time, her cultural moment had already passed by.
Jump back. Well, I think you got the night.
Here's a bittersweet detail worth knowing. Little Eva actually stepped away from the music industry for extended periods later in life, working ordinary jobs outside of music entirely, before occasionally returning to perform this same song live for audiences who never stopped loving it.
Whoa, whoa. Now that you can do it, let's make a change now.
But here's the genuinely beautiful part of this whole story. Decades later, this exact song has been covered again and again by numerous artists, and it continues to be played at weddings, parties, and celebrations all over the entire world to this very day.
Come on, baby. Do the locomotion. A chugga chugga.
Almost everyone alive today knows the dance moves that go along with it. Almost nobody knows her name. That, right there, is the true definition of a one-hit wonder who genuinely changed culture forever.